You have today a copy of a complaint in your hands that is charging Detective Dave Berukowitz with 25 counts related to his misconduct with regard to several political candidates. There's a pattern in Nye County with David Berukowitz using his official powers in an abusive manner to interfere with the political process. Currently, he's the only party that's charged. There is an investigation that's been ongoing. I've been charged by the district attorney to conduct this investigation. If there are other parties who are either guilty or additional victims, we'll be filing either an amended or additional charges. Well, actually, it's summarized pretty well within the complaint itself. What we have is a situation listed under counts 1 through 8, wherein Detective Berukowitz, because we believe he knew that a political candidate's daughter, an underage political candidate's daughter, was having a pajama party, he forced entry, kicked in the door, used abusive and profane language with a series of 14 to 16-year-old girls, about 10 of them, threatened them with use of deadly force, forced them to undergo involuntary testing, derided them, attacked them, and conducted illegal searches. Well, you've got 25 charges here, and to tell you the truth, I haven't added them all up, but he could be looking at the rest of his life in prison. More importantly than that, what we're looking at is a police officer who is intentionally interfering with the political process, and that needs to stop. How much time David Berukowitz spends in prison for his actions is less important than that his actions, which have been going on for some time, cease. However, I would say at a personal note, he belongs in prison, and we'll be doing our best to send him there.
Conrad, you're talking about Scott Coble, the NHP officer's daughter, is that correct?
That's correct. While I, and certainly the DA's office out there in general, has a great deal of confidence in the court system with Pahrump, it is a small county, and it's going to place unusual concerns in front of any judge. So it's our anticipation that we'll be bringing in an outside judge. However, I can't speak to the details of that right now.
When were you hired by Bob Beckett?
Well, my actual paperwork, I believe, either went in yesterday or today. We've been talking for a little while.
How long has this investigation been going on?
I'm not at liberty to say exactly how long it's been going on, but it's been ongoing for some time.
Well, the reason that's relevant, sir, is just late last month you conducted a press conference in Pahrump at the county courthouse where you essentially released a bunch of information that attacks a political opponent of Bob Beckett.
Right.
Were you working on this investigation at that time?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Isn't that a conflict?
I'm not at liberty to say. The next step would be the filing of a criminal complaint and then seeking an arrest warrant for David Berukowitz.
When do we anticipate the filing of the complaint?
Today.
Today, in Nye County?
Absolutely. That's the complaint. It's been signed and it's on its way over there now.
Is the detective aware of this investigation?
Absolutely.
What, have you spoken to him personally?
No, I anticipate that he and I will probably have a conversation through his counsel at about the time that the arrest warrant hits his hand.
Do you think he'll be arrested today?
No, I think that's going to take a little while. That process is not immediate. I don't live in Nye County. I was selected because I have little contact with Bob Beckett. I have no social contact with him whatsoever. I've been on the other side of several cases with regard to Nye County, with regard to the DA's office, and I can't speak to his internal reasoning, but that's my impression is that's. He selected me because I had some independence.
Can you say who you were representing when you had the press conference in Nye County last month?
I'm not here to talk about that press conference.
You don't think that's relevant?
I'm not here to talk about that press conference.
I understand that you're not here to talk about that, but you don't recognize...
Does anybody else have any questions? Edit, thank you very much.
If we can talk about that press conference, that is interesting because I know Mr. Beckett was arrested and held a press conference on his behalf.
I was asked by a private party to hold a press conference stating their filing of an EEOC complaint. The EEOC complaint does not require an attorney for representation, but I would have been on the other side from the DA's office when I filed that complaint. And if I had filed that complaint, all I was hired to do was actually hold the press conference and announce what was going on with regard to the EEOC complaint. So I'm not on that, but I have been on the other side from the Nye County DA's office on many occasions. If you were going to typify that in any way, the way you typify it is that I was against the DA's office there as well. But that's actually legally inaccurate. All I was doing was representing a party for a press conference.
So is that difficult for you then, being against him 2-3 weeks ago and now investigating and doing a case for him?
Bob's a professional, and we're all attorneys. My job is to look at parties that may or may not have committed crimes. And looking at the investigation, I think it's quite clear that David Berukowitz has committed a series of crimes. That'll be up to the court to decide, but that's typically the way we approach these things. The reason why Bob came to me is because I fought against him and fought hard. And he knew that I'll fight hard to put away David Berukowitz if he's guilty.